From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the January 31st edition of Carolina Week. I'm Bridget Williams.
And I'm Brooke Baldwin, and we're proud to be bringing you coverage of Carolina news and events. Some UNC students who live off campus are emptying their wallets in parking fees and bus fares, but getting to campus may become a little cheaper for students. Carolina Week's Caroline Patterson has the story.
Transit users swipe their bus passes or pay with exact change to ride city buses. But Chapel Hill Transit may be opening its doors to a fare-free system next fall. The plan would allow all city buses to operate like the U-Bus by increasing student fees $8.49 per semester. Student Congress passed the resolution last week. Student Body President Brad Matthews says his plan will benefit the growing university.
We're going to have a lot more students here, a lot more students probably living off campus, and they're going to need to get to class, they're going to need to get around town, and with very, very limited parking, and it's going to become worse, this seemed like a really good alternative to start thinking about.
UNC students will have their say when the plan is put to a vote in the upcoming student election. Graduate student Ren Nasser says she supports the fare-free system.
I think it would be great to be able to save over $200 a year by riding a free bus. Although I guess if I lived on campus, I'd be a little annoyed about it.
Under the current system, students have to pay more than $200 for a year-long pass. But with the proposed plan, anyone can ride the city buses for free, but someone will have to pay for the cost.
The university pledges to pay 40% of the cost of running a fare-free bus system. The remaining 60% must be covered by the towns of Chapel Hill and Carborough. Chapel Hill Town Council member Kevin Foy says the council was willing to work with the university.
The town supports a good public transportation system, and I think that this is a component of a good transportation system.
Chapel Hill and Carborough leaders are now waiting to see if students pass the referendum. In Chapel Hill, I'm Caroline Patterson, Carolina Week.
UNC students will be voting on the referendum for fare-free busing on February 13th.
Student Body President Brad Matthews' recent proposal for free busing has many students wondering if increasing their student fees will be worth the cost. In today's Speak Out segment, we asked members of the Carolina community whether or not they supported an increase in student fees to fund free busing.
Well, I've been a commuter student. I've had either an apartment or I've lived with my parents in Durham, and I've always had to bus it since I was a freshman here, and I think it's a good idea. Bus passes are really expensive, and at least it'll cut down on money.
I think that's probably a good thing for us to be doing for our community, for the campus community. As a graduate student, I live on campus, but I know as graduate students that would probably be very helpful, and also for our students that commute in.
I think it's definitely a good idea. It doesn't just help those students who are off campus. Students who park on the PDR lots have to pay also to get there. And it also will take you off campus to like Harris Teeter, University Mall. So in general, it benefit almost everyone on campus.
I think it's pretty fair because occasionally I do take buses to downtown and out of Chapel Hill area. But I think they should have like more publication.
I'm for it. I mean, since it's only $8, I don't see a problem with it. If it was more, I'd say I'd disagree because I'm not using the service, but I think it'd help out the people who really need it.
Our sample of student opinions is in no way scientific and shouldn't be taken as widespread opinion on campus.
Well, Election Day at UNC-Chapel Hill is just around the corner, and it's time for students to decide who they want to lead them in the coming year. The candidates' names and faces are already plastered around campus. That's right, election season is in full swing, and candidates are finding that campaigning can be a full-time job. From asking for your vote through email to petition signing in the pit, student government hopefuls are doing all they can to win an office in the Union Suite C. Although most student body presidential candidates go to great lengths to get your vote, they must still abide by strict rules and regulations.
A lot of times you put a poster in a place that you're not supposed to, and you take the fine, and can be a bit of a hassle, but we're trying to allot within our budget a certain amount of money for fines should we mess up and make a mistake.
Student elections will be held Tuesday, February 13th. You can look forward to continuing election coverage as we look at a new way of voting and the results of the election.
The stock market is a very popular place to invest your money, but Carolina Week's Holly Hedrick tells us some college students are finding that online trading can come with a high price.
Day trading is an appealing get-rich-quick concept that's putting some students in financial stress. Day trading is buying cheap stock with the intention of selling it in a day or even in hours to make some quick cash. The internet opened the door to electronic trading, or e-trading, which allows trading to occur in unlikely spots, including college campuses. At UNC, all you need is a laptop and an account to plug yourself into e-trading. You can set up an account in less than 30 minutes. I asked business student Harry Condon where e-trading takes place.
Much to the chagrin of our professors, sometimes during class, because we're in the building, we have internet access wherever we sit.
It's quick, easy, and risky.
Overall, I'd say I'm losing money. I think it's been a humbling experience.
Investment banker Steve Richards says students should study up before bucking up.
People that are day trading with limited information off of the internet are going to have a bad experience. It's just a matter of time.
Some students lose money, but come back for more. Business student Brad Corbett says he's hooked.
It's playing with a drug. As they say, crack, the first 10 seconds is addictive. This is absolutely addictive.
Students invest money, and they also invest a tremendous amount of time. Finance professor Ben Gowes says students pay tuition for a reason, and it's not to be day traders.
Think about the tuition you pay in this place, and think about the time you spend. You have to, think about your future career. Right? The time will be better invested in education rather than, day trading.
Playing the stock market is a great way to invest money, but experts say students should look to alternatives that are safer than day trading. In Chapel Hill, I'm Holly Hedrick, Carolina Week.
Online trading is popular because each trade costs only $8. Brokers charge between $50 and $75 per trade. But again, e-trading is risky.
Learning Chapel Hill's secrets is just a mouse click away for UNC freshmen or anyone interested in the university community. Anyone can take advantage of a new website developed by the Freshman Focus Council. It's called Freshman Central. The site is designed to give students information about things such as classes, concerts, and busing in Chapel Hill. Students can also write to a forum with questions or comments. The site went online this week and will be updated bi-weekly. Rebecca Burford is a member of the Freshman Focus Council, and she says the site can help all students.
It's going to be a place where really any student can go to get information on things branching from, academic information to entertainment to how to catch the P2P.
Students can check out the site at www.unc.edu/Freshman Central. There are 4,200 Carolina students with meal plans, but are all of them happy with their choices?
We'll serve up your lunch options when Carolina Week returns.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 cents. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
Every year, UNC students make a decision about buying a meal plan. As Carolina Week's Christine Elliott explains, students should consider many factors before dishing out their cash.
It's lunchtime at Lenore. Hundreds of students eat here every weekday between 11 and 2. UNC freshman Denise Huntley says her block meal plan is worth the cost and the wait.
I got one because it's convenient. I can get to Lenore easily and it's on campus, so I'm always here. And secondly, it's prepaid, so I don't have to worry about cash.
But all students don't agree. Sophomore James Collins had a meal plan his first semester and never bought another one because he says it was a waste of his parents' money.
You can just go and get another meal for like, say, $4, a combo anywhere like breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and you save, say, $2.50 for each meal.
The bottom of Lenore is less expensive than the all-you-can-eat option upstairs. This makes more sense for lighter eaters. Carolina Dining Services Marketing Manager April McMahon says meal plans aren't for everyone, but
you know, if you sat down and made out a budget and realized how much money you're spending on food every day because you're not paying for it all in one time, you might realize that, hey, I really should have bought a meal plan. You know, this is a better idea for me. I'm saving money now.
So say, for example, you want some pasta, but you can't get it downstairs. You pay $6.75 to come up to the top of Lenore and have a bowl of pasta and a soda. How does that price compare to those on Franklin Street?
There are plenty of choices on Franklin Street, including fast food places. Even the restaurants have lunch specials. And that pasta meal, it costs $7, just 25 cents more than Lenore at Franklin Street Pizza and Pasta. The bottom line is if you want to spend less than $6.75, you can do it for just a 10-minute walk. And you might spend less time, too. In Chapel Hill, I'm Christine Elliott, Carolina Week.
The $6.75 lunch price comes down as much as 34% if you buy the more complete meal plans offered by Carolina Dining Services. Well, the face of Franklin Street is constantly changing, but this time it's the Blue Marlin's turn. The bar's owner decided to sell it and sail into other ventures, but the new owners say they're naming and turning the place bottoms up. Already you can see improvements, more signs, extra tables, and cleaner bathrooms. And the owners are promising to reach out to the whole community, not just UNC students.
They're still wearing jackets to fight off winter chills, but many UNC students already have hot plans for spring break. If you're worried it may be too late to plan a trip, don't stress. Travel packages are available through agencies on Franklin Street and on the internet. Most student travel packages cost between $500 and $800 and include airfare, hotel, taxes, meal options, and even some partying costs. STA travel manager Tiffany Feldy says there are some definite hot spots this year.
I'd say the biggest places that people are traveling this year, Negril, Jamaica is probably #1, soon to be followed by Cancun, and then the last place that I found is really popular for UNC students is actually London.
Cheap overseas airfare and hostels that cost about $25 a night have made London the hot spot for a different kind of spring break experience, but still a good one.
When it comes to donations for UNC's dance marathon, Carolina students are willing to collect money, volunteer time, and, as proven Saturday night, auction themselves off for charity. Dozens of Old East residents crammed into a crowded Artist Escape Saturday night to attend a charity auction for the dance marathon. Dorm residents and some of their friends volunteered to be auctioned off to the ladies, who paid more than $200 for a date. Organizers of the event said the hardest part was persuading the guys to help. Finally, they rounded up 25 eligible bachelors who helped raise more than $1,400 for the North Carolina Children's Hospital.
Move over, Alex Trebek. If the category is ocean science, some North Carolina high school students are ready for Jeopardy! Recently, 90 students competed in the 4th annual North Carolina Ocean Sciences Bowl in Chapel Hill. 12 schools sent teams to the tournament, which was held at UNC's Friday Center for Continuing Education. Students buzzed in with answers to all kinds of marine science questions. They've been prepping for the competition since August, reading textbooks and quizzing one another outside of class. Coordinator Carrie Thomas says that the bowl has its rewards.
Hopefully it's just a fun day for them and they get to relax and see the fruits of all their labors, all the studying they've done. They get to have a good time with it.
The winning team, High Point Southwest Guilford High School, has bigger fish to fry. It will travel to Miami for the National Ocean Sciences Bowl in April.
Well, with the sun shining and temperatures on the rise, students and faculty alike are catching some spring fever.
But how long can this shot of springtime last? Carolina Week's Kelly Mahoney is up next with a forecast to heat up your weekend plans.
Well, it's been so nice out lately. I think I've even begun to get some spring fever.
Yeah, I wonder how long is this going to last, Kelly?
Well, it is. It's too good to be true, so it can't last forever. But we'll see if spring is indeed on the way. With this increase in spring temperature, you start to wonder, do we have 6 more weeks of winter or not? And with January ending and February beginning, we see Groundhog's Day make an approach this weekend. And my question for you this week has to do with Puxatawny Phil. Now, if you don't know, this is like the official groundhog of Groundhog's Day. He's the furry guy up in Pennsylvania who checks out his shadow every February 2nd. But how accurate is Puxatawny Phil? Well, they've kept track over the last century, and see if you know whether he's been 39% accurate, 50%, 62%, or 90%. We'll see how good this little guy is in just a little bit, but first let's take a look at all this wonderful weather we've been seeing around campus. Dogs and people alike want to get out and enjoy the nice warm temperatures, and we'll see if this is on the way for an extended period of time. But let's see first a little bit more about Puxatawny Phil and Groundhog's Day. If you didn't know much about him before, well, you'll probably know more than you ever wanted to now. But here's some interesting fun facts about Groundhog's Day, which is this coming Friday, February 2nd. Anyway, this cute little guy has been a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He was legally proclaimed by the mayor of Pennsylvania to be the town's weather prophet extraordinaire. And he's been forecasting the start of spring since 1887. I'm going to guess it's not the same groundhog, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So we'll see, is springtime making an appearance on our weather map? Well, let's see what it tells us. It's an interesting map this week. North Carolina is stuck kind of in between 2 low pressure systems, and this pocket of moisture to our south is going to give us a chance for some rain early on Friday, but otherwise the weekend looks safe, and we don't see another chance for any precipitation until the beginning of next week. Taking a look at the numbers on your Carolina Week 4-day forecast, it starts to cool down a little bit. 50 on Friday, Saturday only at 45, but it shows an increasing trend on Sunday and Monday with, like I said, a chance for some rain on Monday. But all in all, not too bad. We're still above average for this time of year. Now, if you're not going to stay in town this weekend, the beach doesn't look like a bad destination. 49 on Saturday, 59 on Sunday, and if you are headed up to the mountains, it doesn't look bad, although the clouds are going to be a little bit more prevalent up there. Sunday you could see more rain, high of 49. And if you want to go skiing this weekend, 49 degrees isn't too warm, as many trails are still checking in as being up and running, 9 at Appalachian and still 20 open up in Sugar Mountain. So still wintertime in full effect if you are a skier anyway.
Well, I wouldn't bet so much on the groundhog, so what's the answer to that question?
Yeah, our furry friend Puxatawny Phil is only 39% accurate, so stick with your local weather forecaster.
Yeah.
Will do. Thanks, Kelly.
No problem.
Thanks, Kelly.
Well, the Tar Heel wrestlers were looking to pin a loss on 2 opponents this weekend.
UNC Greensboro was in town early in the day before Carolina hit the road by night. See if the Tar Heels could handle the all-day affair when Carolina Week continues. I did that one other time. I had to say.
You can't always see problems in the triangle, but you know they're there. Be part of the solution. Join Leadership Triangle. For information, call 919-549-9840.
Devin, that was an exciting game against North Carolina State this weekend.
Hopefully we can pull that through this Thursday in Cameron, maybe.
Yeah, this is definitely the heat of rivalry week. The men's basketball team is on a hot streak, including 14 consecutive wins and a #4 national ranking. The Tar Heels extended that streak on Super Bowl Sunday with a victory against the NC State Wolfpack. It wasn't one of the prettiest wins of the year for the Heels, but a win is a win in this rivalry. Joseph Forte led the scoring with 21, including 14 in the second half, as the Heels beat the Pack 60-53. Pack cut the lead to just 1 with less than 2 minutes to play, but 2 clutch free throws by Brendan Haywood iced the game and helped the Heels keep the streak alive. The Heels haven't lost since December 2nd. It's always a battle when Carolina and State meet, and the same is true when the Heels travel down Tobacco Road to the unfriendly confines of Cameron Indoor Stadium. We wanted to know why it's so tough to play the Devils at their house.
They have an attitude about playing at home, and they seem to not miss too many shots over there. So I think those two things combined makes it tough to win over there.
They don't miss many shots over there, obviously, and just the crowd. I mean, they're right there on the floor. They have chants, you know, for every player, and it's just so loud.
To me, it's just as difficult to play as playing at NC State. They're loud. They're going to be saying things at you, yelling obscenities, but you can't worry about that. You have to go out there and play basketball.
Duke does a good job defending their home turf, and I think the emotions are high there because the gym is not but so big. The students are right there over you. It gets very loud. It's very hot.
As the Carolina women's basketball team recuperates from 2 conference losses and tries to turn its 10-9 season around, one player remains constant and confident. But the women's basketball team has hit a mini slump and is right in the middle of ACC play. Having lost to both Duke and Maryland, the Lady Tar Heels next face Georgia Tech and Virginia away, and Wake Forest and Clemson at home. One of those players very key in this midseason stretch is Laquanda Barksdale. Carolina Week's Iona Banks has the story of that player.
She's been the team's leading scorer and rebounder for 2 years straight and will probably be named All-ACC for the second time. Often referred to as Q, Barksdale is blazing new trails on the Carolina court. But it wasn't always like that. She was an unheralded freshman, and many never expected Barksdale to be as good as the rest of her decorated recruiting class, which includes Nikki Teasley and Wanna Brown. However disappointing it was to know that, Barksdale says it helped her game.
I mean, I always thought that I was, I had the potential to be a good player, and I still know that I can get better.
Combined with her great work ethic, her potential has placed her as the leading scorer and rebounder for both the team and entire ACC. Although she continues to receive personal recognition, that hasn't translated into wins this season.
I kind of am a little disappointed. I thought that we would be doing better right now. And I mean, we're a much better team than what our record shows.
While Laquanda Barksdale's consistent play proves why she's one of the team captains, it is also making her a part of Carolina history. Her 12 boards against Maryland put her 9th on UNC's list for all-time career rebounds. Last season, she was the only UNC player to start every game. Her humble persona allows her to take accolades in stride. Although the many praises haven't changed her, one thing has changed.
I think I'm more vocal on the court, and that's something that I have, been working on for these past few years.
And as the season progresses, she hopes to lead the team to an ACC championship and the NCAA tourney. In Chapel Hill, I'm Iona Banks, Carolina Week.
Barksdale hopes to play in the WNBA after graduation. The North Carolina wrestling team has been off to a slow start in 2001. At 2-4, Carolina decided to play 2 on Saturday. In the first match at high noon, UNC shuts out UNC Greensboro 41-0. The Tar Heels scored 4 major decisions and 2 other wins by fall. Freshman Jake Reynolds wins in double overtime in the 165-pound match, using a reversal 18 seconds into the second period of extra time. Carolina then hit the road for the nightcap, where the Tar Heels defeated Appalachian State 32-9, improving Carolina to the 500 mark at 4-4 this season. Well, the spring sports start up the 1st and 2nd weeks of February, so it should get pretty exciting here.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Yeah. We're set for it. Thanks, Devin.
No problem.
Well, the 60s weren't all peace and love for this former UNC-Chapel Hill student.
Find out why discrimination almost killed Edith Hubbard's school spirit. Next on Carolina Week.
Let your knowledge grow at the North Carolina Botanical Garden. Through public service, research, conservation, and education. The garden brings North Carolina's rich natural heritage to you. It's a beautiful way to learn.
I wonder how Silent Sam feels about guarding the university from groups of 3rd grade kids. Maybe he's lost interest. We haven't heard his rifle fire recently. Still he stands, a steadfast defender of something. What is it? No one knows the real Carolina like a student. Carolina Week, the student news show.
Honey, we need to get away. Just the two of us.
You're going to have to get a full-time job. We're losing ground.
We don't ever talk anymore.
Susan will be ready for college next year.
We used to be so close.
We make twice what we made 8 years ago. Now we have less to spend.
I think I'm going to leave you, dear.
Maybe we could sell one of the cars.
Family Counseling Service of Durham. We can help. Call 286-3757.
Imagine this lady's memories from 1966. Professors telling her she won't pass their classes, eating lunch alone because students leave the tables around her when she sat down, and being rejected when trying to pledge a Greek organization. All of this because of her skin color. Edith Hubbard doesn't have to imagine the hardship of discrimination. She lived it. When she graduated in 1966 from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, she could only think one thing.
Thank God it's over.
Hubbard was one of the first black female students at UNC and came along during a time when integration was part of a turbulent American society in schools throughout the South. Hubbard still thinks she was accepted to Carolina in part because the black and white photos she sent didn't quite make things black and white.
I don't know that whoever was in the process of doing the selection fully understood or took note of the fact that I was black.
Hubbard's experience as one of very few black students was tough, but she does have some pleasant memories.
The campus is just extremely beautiful, particularly in the spring with the green leaves, and yes, I love the campus.
But there were more painful memories than pleasant ones. So many that Hubbard couldn't even bring herself to shake the governor's hand at graduation.
I was really struck by the puzzlement on his face because I don't think he understood the pain that I was experiencing.
But times change, and so did Hubbard's heart. She grew to love the school where she had experienced so much hate. 20 years after Hubbard graduated, her daughter and son attended Carolina. Now a proud grandma, she hopes with a little encouragement, the grandkids will consider her alma mater too.
Are you coming to Carolina? Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Hubbard works on campus as Associate Director of Research Services, and she hopes young people like her grandchildren can learn from her experience and never give up. Today, Hubbard works in her community, volunteering with several civic groups. She says it's her way of making sure she leaves the world better than the way she found it.
Sounds like a wonderful woman. I wish we had more people around like her.
True, we really do need more people like that.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to come back next week. Until then, have a good night and a good week.
Good night.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at ibiblio.org/CW. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.